I'm going to say something about the love of nature. Gary mentioned something about atheists that are just looking for a replacement God, and that some people have chosen nature, and that road goes to nihilism. But it doesn't go to nihilism, because here's the thing. I mean, for one, some philosophies choose to celebrate an idealized world. Platonism, or as it's been called, Platonism for the masses, Christianity, where there's an idealized world and it's separate, and it's perfect, and then we're in this real imperfect, fucked up world. But the thing is, once you get rid of your theism, I don't see, unless you try to replace that theism with some other faith in this external world, I don't see how you can judge. The material nature is everything. So whatever meaning there is has to be within this construct of nature. So it's not nihilistic, because it's faith in the only source of anything, nature. And we don't have to say that it's good, but we can make it good. We're part of nature. Insofar as nature is cruel and stuff, or that symbiosis is unintentional, well, that doesn't mean that we as humans can't make it intentional. We can't look at how animals interact and say prefer a symbiotic relationship to a parasitic one, or even prefer a predatory relationship to a parasitic one. We can make those judgments. We can find the meaning. We put the meaning in. And so even if it's a false thing to have that as a religious faith in nature, it's still not nihilistic by any means, and it's also not metaphysical. So it actually has a big advantage over the way we've tried to find meaning so far, by saying that these idealized Platonic worlds, or the heaven, or whatever, these other non-physical spaces is where the real meaning is. No, the real meaning's in nature. If you study nature, even if you're worshiping it, at least you're more in touch with that. In terms of people that are atheistic but still trying to live with God, the way I see that is, I don't judge people. To me, let's say the brain is a computer, so it's like a computer desktop. Let's say you go to somebody's computer, their mind, and there's a Word is open with the document in it, and there's a spreadsheet open with the spreadsheet document, and there's a draw program. And you're trying to understand that person. Do you just read the document, the document that's in Word, or... Because, see, the fact that it's in Word, that's the software it was used to create, that was used to create that document. That tells you what other kind of documents they can create, They might have a simple document that could be just in a regular old text editor. And if it isn't a text editor, that's all they can create. But if it is in Word, but it lacks images and bold text and stuff like this, well, if I see they're using Word, then I know that they can improve their ideas in a certain way. And see, this is important to me, because ideas are changing all the time. So I don't want to just know it's some information. It's like one little moment in time what that document actually says that they're editing. But it's more important to me in terms of how will they be able to progress, what this mental program is they're using to create it. And the problem is with the God idea is that there's a program, that seeks meaning through these metaphysical ways and these dogmatic ways, and it's got a God document loaded in it, and you can't really throw out that document and then create another document. If you create another document in that program, it's going to deify whatever is the subject of that. So you actually have to get rid of that whole program and have a whole new way of creating knowledge. So yeah, I think the love of nature is a pretty good and healthy way. It's where we decide which parts we love most, and we can change nature that way. We can help emphasize what we do like out of nature, whatever subset. And someone like in Menhem that says, well, it's all crap. No, he believes that compassion is good. He believes that alleviating suffering of others is good. And these are all things that there are examples of in nature. So, you can take, well, this subset of nature is what I like, and that's what puts me in love with nature, and I'm going to emphasize that. And that's what we can do with our technology, both, just intellectual techniques as well as physical technology. You take something in nature that can happen, like a magnet. It doesn't happen on its own very often. But we can create magnets because we've studied and loved nature and figured out how to make them. And so we can emphasize those things that are useful, that happen in nature just rarely or randomly, and we can make them happen intentionally and often if they're useful to us. And I think that's true with all the things we learn or believe about nature.